How's it going, everybody? It's your world champion here. Welcome back to the Naruto arc reviews, where I talk about some Naruto Shippuden arcs from the anime, and just kind of talk about some things, 5 things I liked, 5 things I disliked, and all that. If you've been a subscriber to the channel, you know exactly what the deal is. So, a quick synopsis of this arc. So, this is part 2 of the countdown arc. So, everybody's basically just getting ready for the Fourth Great Ninja War. Kabuto makes a move. This is part 2 because in between this was a long filler section, so they split this arc up into like 2 parts. So this second part has Naruto getting to the island with Killer Bee. He learns to control the Nine Tails power. We see what happens during that Nine Tails attack 16 years ago. And yeah, that's pretty much the bulk of it. There are some really great things I want to talk about, and some things that were less great. But let's just go ahead and dive right in. Here are 5 things that I did not like in this arc. So I want to preface this part with this. Um, Usually I go on a few rants at this part because these are things that I quote unquote hate in this arc. 3 of these things really aren't that bad. I really just put them on here because I felt like the things that I put in the things I liked were like outclassed and outweighed them more than what they are. But I still wanted to talk to them very briefly and mention them just because they are good parts in the arc that just other things outshine them. So that's only 3 things in this list, and I'll point them out as they come around. There are 2 things that I will rant about that I just did not like. But the first thing we'll talk about. So this is something that I thought was okay. Yamato actually ends up getting captured. So this happens like in the last episode of this arc, so to say. This is where Kabuto and a revived Datara go to the Turtle Island that Naruto and Killer Bee at. Um, the original task is to capture Naruto, so that way Madara can get the power of the Nine Tails and all that. But Kabuto wants to also get Yamato for this because he is a clone of the first Hokage. He wants to use that power to boost up the Zetsus, the white Zetsus, because apparently they're also clones of the first Hokage's cells, and there's like a crap ton of them, so they could be powered up by having Yamato and not Yamato, yeah, having Yamato. So Kabuto wants to capture Yamato for all this. Again, this was fine. Like again, we're seeing more of Kabuto and his sudden change into an Orochimaru type figure. He also has like this new Manda that he created that's much stronger than this. So like we're seeing more of what we're gonna see later on with Kabuto, which I'll talk about when we get to that part because I don't want to spoil anything as of right now. But it's really cool to see how Kabuto took some of Orochimaru's stuff and enhanced it in many ways. But yeah, he ends up catching Yamato here and takes him back to the hideout of the Akatsuki. So again, it's not something that I hated, but compared to other things in this arc, it was a little lackluster. So the next thing I want to point out is the story with Matoi and Killer Bee. Again, it's not that I hated this. I just think we've kind of seen this story before with, forgiveness of people trying to kill each other and all that. It leads to Killer Bee being, liking Naruto a little bit more as well. Motoi, coming around more with Killer Bee because, like, his whole story is they were friends when they were younger. Bee became the Jinchuriki of the Eight Tails that killed Motoi's parents. Motori resented him for all this because he was the Eight Tails Jinchuriki, and he just couldn't, like, he tried to kill him one time and he just couldn't admit it to Killer Bee that it was him and all that. But Killer Bee knew. He knew. And the thing I'd put it in here is the fact that, like, how respectable Killer Bee is. Why couldn't you just go up to him and tell him? Like, I understand you don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want somebody to hate you and all that, especially if you're such a close friend. But come on, it's Killer B. What is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? Nothing. He's just gonna do what he just did right here and fist bump you and be like, "All is fine." You know, you're still the Motoya that I grew up with. We've been friends forever. So again, it's something that's not terrible, but other things outshined it. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the multiple fake outs we get of Toby. And here's what I mean by this. So Toby's reveal of who he is keeps getting teased to us time and time again, a little too much, because like we have the part where Kisame is getting interrogated by I always forget his name. He's the crow guy from the Leaf Village. But anyways, um we almost see him there. That's a fake out. We almost see him in his fight with Conan. That's also a fake out. We also almost see it with his fight against the fourth Okage, and that ends up turning out to be a fake out as well. Just tired of the fake outs. I'm ready for the reveal, which I do know what the reveal is, and we get to that road when we cross it. Again, this is just something that this is one of the legitimate things I didn't like in the arc. Um, I was just tired of it because I'm just like, okay, we get it. You're gonna keep teasing and teasing. Just show it to people, okay? Now I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I get it. It's Conan versus Toby. I get it. It was a fine fight. It was a great moment with her like parting the waves and the seas, and it was like all these paper bombs and all that. And yeah, Toby slash Madara uses the Izanagi to get out of it and to survive it. But I mean, it's just a means to an end, really. like, and it's not really that big of a fight. It's just kind of a confrontation. I mean, Toby easily beats it. Well, not easily. Like, he does lose an arm and have to use the Izanagi. But I mean, it's a fight. like that's basically it. It's a fight, you know. Um, and there's not much more to say about that. I mean, yeah, we get the story of we get a little bit more story with Nagato and Yahiko and Conan as they were growing up. The thing with Jiraiya and all that, forming the Akatsuki. This is also where we see more of the Akatsuki stuff that they were a group made in the Rain Village. But Toby came by and was just like, "Hey, let me join and actually let me lead you guys and show you where to go." So like throughout this whole fight, we see that revelation. We also hear the revelation that apparently Madara had given Nagato the Rinnegan. Okay, you're just giving people powers now. Like this kind of starts the downfall stuff of things that I hated that Naruto started to introduce. And we'll get more into all that stuff at a later date. But the fight was fine. The background stuff was fine. Oh, we also get to find out that apparently Nagato is part of the Uzumaki clan. So he's like a cousin of Naruto's? Okay, just drop that info while you're at it. Anything else you want to tell us, Madara? Hmm? Does Tsunade actually have a younger sister with a bigger chest or something? Is that what you're gonna reveal next? I don't know. It's just I feel bad because like the moment itself with like Conan giving her life and all that and be like, oh, I'm gonna be the pillar that holds these bridges of peace. It's a fine moment, but again, there's just other things in this arc that I liked a lot better. And we're soon gonna get to them after we talk about one thing I absolutely despise. Why? Why? Why the ostrich have to come back? Oh, why do you have to come back? Okay. So the whole thing here is that they're trying to trick Naruto that the war isn't happening right now. There's an allied shinobi force. He knows that. He knows that much. But the war's about to happen. And so the joke slash plan is to have him be on this S rank mission and he's supposed to start getting this animal troop together in order to fight in the Great Ninja War. Okay, cool. In the manga, this was fine because it was just him checking out the animals and all that shit. So he starts talking to one of the animals. And guess who shows up? Fucking ostrich from the goddamn filler arc. Makes his triumphant return. He's on this island. Naruto's like, you're gonna have to join the war. Ostrich is just like, hell no, I'm not. No, I'm not joining no stupid war with you humans. Naruto's like, fine, talk to these people for me, and we'll get going. Hijinks ensue, but just the sheer image of this ostrich, it just halts everything. I hate it. I hate this ostrich. He's the bane of my existence. I hate him so much. It hurts. It legitimately hurts. I can't. I hate this thing so much. I just want him to go and die. And then he just runs off the island. You know, because he's a ninja ostrich, so he can walk on water. So he's just like, oh, goodbye. Why didn't the sea monster attack him? Why didn't the sea monster attack him and kill him? I wish it did. Seeing this ostrich ruined everything for me. I was legitimately sitting there like, are we fucking doing this right now? Hijinks ensue because turns out 4 of the strongest animals on the island, they all love the same animal who turns out to be a dude. So they end up being sad about that. I hate this ostrich so much. Let's talk about more positive things. Here's some things I liked in this arc. So, Guy versus Kisame, round 3, the final round. This confrontation was awesome. Won't talk too much about like what began the confrontation, because, well, I guess briefly, Guy goes to the Waterfall of Truth. He's just like, I'm gonna face my own self, and this like image of him starts appearing, saying, you know, stop trying to act all young. You know, you're old. Blah blah blah. Which Guy's only like 30 years old, right? Don't call yourself old, dude. You're just starting. You're still in the springtime of your youth. But anyways, and then out comes Kisame, who gets noticed by Naruto because Naruto can sense life energy now. So he's just like, hey, that sword on your back, Killer Bee, has Kisame in it. So Kisame escapes. He tries to run away. Guy stops him. Guy actually uses the 7th gate on Kisame, which is very cool. Which is apparently, and the attack he uses, which is like this giant, like, tiger bear or whatever. Like, it's just a single punch, and Kisame's super shark bomb jutsu can't hold up to it. But I think the moment I love, so Guy is just standing over defeated Kisame, and he's like sweating the blue sweat and all that, which also is really cool. But he tells Kisame not to move, and Kisame's just floating there, and you just see like his one finger twitch, and right when he twitches, Guy just like punches him in his stomach, and he's just like, yeah, I told you not to move. So very cold on you, Guy Sensei. But even with this, I'm also going to lump in the quick little backstory we got with Kisame being like, you know, I kill all my comrades. I'm a comrade killer. I actually like being with Itachi because we're both kind of the same, since they both killed people they quote unquote care about. So yeah, it's cool. And then Kisame dies without telling much information. You know, he bites his tongue, and he has his own sharks eat him and kill him. And one of the sharks actually escapes with information. So he succeeded in his mission in death. And yeah, so Kisame, good on you, dude. You lived a life of a ninja fully. And just wanted to highlight that. The reason I have this above the Conan fight with Toby is because, I'm sorry, this goes more with my inner meathead. And I mean, it's just so hype just to see Guy Sensei going to not seventh gear, I almost said 7th gear, into the seventh gate, like opening that seventh gate. That's one gate away from the gate of death. And he uses it on Kisame, which is just so great and awesome. So yeah, just wanted to highlight that. Okay, next on my list, I love everything to do with the waterfall of truth. This is the kind of shit that I love. And this is the kind of shit that I think I was mentioning in an earlier video that I wanted to talk about. But this is the whole thing of fighting yourself and fighting your inner darkness. So before Naruto can get the power of the Nine Tails, he has to go through the Waterfall of Truth, which basically is a way for him to fight his inner demons, his inner darkness. And this dark Naruto comes out. He's just like, look, why didn't you give those guys your autograph? He's basically saying the truth, how the village were hypocrites. They treated them poorly. Why continue to be part of them? Why continue to be with them? All that stuff. And so Naruto, he doesn't know what to do, because at first he fights this guy, and they're even because they're the same person. Now, I remember exactly what it was. It was the clone episode from that filler episode. That's what it was. I just randomly remembered it now. So this is Naruto coming to terms with himself as a person and learning what to do with that negativity, that negative energy that's in him. And it goes into like the Killer Bee, Motoi stuff, and he learns that, look, I don't need to fight you because we're the same. You just need the love that I needed. And he just gives him a hug. And that's so powerful to me. The fact that all you need to do with your negativity is just love it. That's the thing. So as somebody that struggles with things like anxiety and depression and all that, you have these waves of emotions going on, and these waves of like darkness and lightness and all that stuff. Instead of succumbing to the wave, I've learned that just riding it out is the best way, because once that wave is done, you move on. You're back on land again. And you can just keep going and try again, try all this other stuff. So it's a very powerful scene here. Now, this does help him with fighting the Nine Tails and getting the Nine Tails power. Because again, like, the Nine Tails goes on darkness. It uses that darkness, that negative energy, to be stronger and to take somebody over. That's why anytime Naruto raged out, the fox was just like, oh, here's my time. Here's my chance to finally be me. But yeah, I really like it, because it does, again, it talks about a good message here of just, loving yourself even through the darkness. Okay, here we go. Naruto versus the Nine-Tailed Fox. We all knew this was going to happen, where Naruto would finally gain the power of the Nine-Tailed Fox. And I love how they do this, because it's not necessarily Naruto like defeating the Nine Tails. It's Naruto taking the Nine Tails chakra for himself. So what he has to do is he has to basically play tug of war with the fox. And that in turn ties into what we were just talking about with like that dark Naruto, like the true Naruto, if you will, because that's like the being inside of their like shared space that pulls on the chakra. So if that thing was still like negative, Fox would have beaten Naruto easily, and taken over Naruto himself. But no, Naruto's able to, with the help of Killer Bee and his mom that he meets, which we'll talk about that soon. Well, that's a separate thing. So yeah, he basically has to play tug of war. So he has help with his mom and Killer Bee to hold the Nine Tails back a little bit. And Naruto ends up using Sage Mode because he's obviously, his main body is staying still. So in there, he can enter Sage Mode. Does this massive Rasengan barrage. Um, does a couple, Rasen shurikens as well, and yeah, he's able to push. Like it's cool because like he has all the clones like holding on to the chakra of the nine-tailed fox, like pulling it, and like just sending out these Rasengans towards him. So it's like pushing him back, and then they're pulling the chakra at the same time. It's a really cool visual, really cool thing. And then once Naruto gets all that chakra, you see this golden form here. And golden forms, they have many different intricacies. You have Super Saiyan and all that with golden forms, but for me, a golden form like this is like an epitome of power. And not just an epitome of power, but an epitome of self-being. Because you're this golden figure now. You're like that's why we have like golden Buddhas and all that stuff, because it's that symbol of, to me, it's a symbol of enlightenment. Being like, I have finally reached that pinnacle of my power now, that pinnacle of myself. And that's signified again here with the gold. So I really like this because, again, we've been leading up to this throughout the whole series, and it was just so nice to see, and so nice to see the fox being defeated and all that, hating Naruto as we see here. But yeah, good moment, good moment. Okay, I'm taking my glasses off for this one. Naruto meets his mom. This was probably the most heartwarming thing in Naruto, because Naruto grew up without parents. We know the story. He met his dad, the fourth Hokage, who, I mean, a lot of theories were going around that the fourth Hokage was Naruto's dad, so whatever. But we're meeting his mom now, who is somebody that we only got a name of and like a quick glimpse at. She gives her story a little bit about, how her and Minato met, and then we'll talk about the other stories she talked about after this. But I mean, like, I think about it. I'd have to check the manga again with this, but in the anime, in the Japanese dub, Naruto has this thing at the end of his sentences called datebayo. That's just his thing. We find out that he gets it from his mom because she also says datebayo. Now in English, when Naruto first came out, his whole thing was believe it. And that gets annoying after a while, because it was almost like every other sentence he was just like, believe it, to the point where it's become a meme now. But seeing that connection, just it clicks in Naruto's head who this lady is, and he's just like, I can't believe I have such a beautiful mom. And like, he compliments her red hair. She's like, oh, I love you for that, because apparently everybody made fun of her red hair and all that. Turns out she was also the Jinchuriki host before Naruto. She held the nine-tailed fox. Okay. And apparently the Uzumaki clan, which she was a part of, which is like no more except for Naruto, they had enough chakra, they had enough power to hold back a tailed beast. Okay. So that's why she was like, because she was chosen to be the next Jinchuriki host after the first one, because the first one, who was the first Hokage's wife, fun fact, she was dying and ended up passing it down to Kushina, and things happen that it's now in Naruto, which we do find out the things that happen with that, which we'll talk about soon. But God, man, this, I'm not gonna lie, I was in tears watching this, because it's hard to describe, because I mean, I grew up with both my parents, and in a loving home and all that, but I know that there are people out there that don't have that luxury, and again, like, I'm somebody that grew up with this series. Like, this series is why I'm here today, in many ways than one. So to see a character that I've grown so close to over the years finally like meet the mom that you've always wanted to meet, It's really good. Like I'm trying, I'm choking up a little bit too here, just thinking about it. Like it's so good. And before she leaves, she's just like, I hope you're doing this. I hope you're doing that. Blah blah blah. It's just really good. I Words can't describe it. You need to watch it. And I guess we'll just go ahead and talk about the last point. So we get the backstory. Finally, we get to find out what happened 16 years ago with the Nine Tails attack, because we got hints throughout, like the fight with Jiraiya and Pain. We got some hints, and then with um, Minato talking to Naruto when the Nine Tails came out, like we got hints that something more was up with that Nine Tails attack. So we finally get to see it after 300, 400 probably plus episodes, and chapters, I guess. Um, Finally get to see the backstory and that day of what happened. So turns out the seal on a Jinchuriki will be the loosest during childbirth. So that's the biggest takeaway here. So Naruto is being born. We also see little baby Sasuke. Yeah, cute. Also, I want to point out the third and his wife are dicks. If you don't know what I mean, just watch this. So they're giving birth. Naruto's born. All of a sudden, Toby comes by and just like, I will kill the boy. And so Minato saves Naruto, but leaves Kushina behind. And that's when Toby extracts the Nine Tails out of her, and brings the Nine-Tailed Fox to the village and starts attacking it. There's some other things that happens where Minato goes to Kushina, brings her back to Naruto, where they have Naruto at least, and goes back and tries to take care of the fox. So he transports this fox. He fights Toby first after dropping off Naruto and Kushina. And he's just like, all right, I need to take care of this guy right now. And so they has fight with one of the most beautiful animations. It's like the slow motion of Minato's kunai going right through Toby, and Toby about to go in for an attack. And then in that split second, the fourth Hokage just like teleports right where the kunai is and gives a massive Rasengan. It's so beautiful and so good. Look it up. Look up Minato versus Toby, and you'll know. You'll know. That was great. So Toby gets beaten, and the spell he was using on the Nine Tails is gone. And so now Minato has to go and take care of the Nine Tails. He goes back, teleports him away again. So he's using a lot of chakra here. Over to where Kushina and Naruto are. And he's just like, there's only one way out of this. We have to seal the Nine Tails inside Naruto. And so in this very convoluted way, he's able to seal half the chakra of the Nine Tails into Naruto. And he seals the other half of it inside of himself with the Reaper Death Seal. And he uses the little bit of chakra left that he and Kushina have to seal like parts of themselves inside Naruto for these reasons. So like if the seal were to ever break all the way without Naruto breaking it, boom, Minato's there to reseal it. If Naruto is starting to learn to control the Nine Tails power, boom, Kushina's there to help him with that. And they give like the most. Again, I cried. I'm not gonna deny that I cried like a little bitch. But Kushina and Minato have their last words to baby Naruto. Saying, ninja inhibitions, beware Jiraiya, like Kushina takes up all the time, basically. And Minato actually jokes about that too. He's just like, wow, you took up all the time. Yeah, she's just being a mother and all that. So that's basically it. I mean, we see what happened 16 years ago and why the Nine Tails was sealed inside Naruto. Again, it's one of the best backstories I think we get in the entire series. In my opinion, one of the best. I think there were a couple others, but Man, this arc has some highlights in it, man. Like mainly centered around Naruto learning the Nine Tails' power and to control it and all that. Like this is stuff like this that makes me love Naruto. It's like actually we'll talk about that with the final grade. So the final grade I'm giving this is an A. I mean, I can't think of giving this anything less. Again, the things I didn't like only three of them were things that I did like that like weren't that bad. Like it really didn't wasn't that bad. The other two like the Toby like misdirections the whole time, and it could have done without that. And the fucking ostrich coming back, like come on, dude. But everything else was really good. But and the things I like though outshined it, outshined the other things so much more because these are the themes of Naruto that Kishimoto should have stuck with. The whole hardworking thing, the whole like I hate the Child of Destiny stuff. Like I hate the Child of Prophecy shit. I hate that so much. We'll talk about more of that later on though. But it's these themes of like working on yourself and bettering yourself and battling yourself and winning against yourself without having to throw a punch and all that. Like, don't get me wrong, the fighting is still great. The fighting is good. But I enjoy series that dive more into a psychological thing, and an emotional thing, because it means these characters aren't just over the top, balls to the wall, punchy, punchy, kick, kick. No, it means that these characters are more human, more grounded. And when you have that, you can actually connect with characters a lot more and a lot better. And again, just like what I said with the pain arc, this is the good stuff in this arc is what makes Naruto so great. And it's peak Naruto. That is peak Naruto writing right there. Um and yeah, I mean, we ended the arc with Yamato being captured, Tsuchikage going in there against Datara, starting to use his particle style. Kurotsuchi, we see what her powers are. It's like lava style, but it's like she uses like cement and all that stuff. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, I think an A grade is very fair for this arc. It was really good. But let me know what you thought down in the comments below of this part of the arc. I know we're starting to get into the war. The war is starting. The war is beginning. So there might be some, and there is a certain part in the war, and I'll mention it in the video when it happens. But there's a certain part where I didn't have the box set, so I didn't watch the anime then. Because I did take a break from the anime for a while. The only time I watched the anime episodes was when they did the Naruto versus Sasuke fight because I heard it was double episode, whatever. I'm going on a tangent. So there's going to be a certain part where I'm going to be blind to what the anime does compared to the manga. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you thought of this arc, what you think of the things coming up soon. Be sure to like the video if I entertain you in any way, shape, or form. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the other content that I have, including the next arc review of Naruto, which again will be starting the war then. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are as well. And as always, people, I've been your world champion. Catch you guys in the next video. See ya.